Hello, future generals. We have a cool video where you have already created your functions key. You should have your get start, get stop, and then your other two functions down here. I want you to work on those two functions, which is I am not showing them. They're a little bit more challenging and they're using for loops, and I want to continue to use for loops because those are traditionally the hardest part. So if we want to make our run file, we want to first import all of our functions. So it essentially allows us to call all these functions inside of a new file. So in order to do that, we are going to import and then the name of this file. If you're guessing what the name is, it's up here. So I'm going to say function key. You don't need, in Python, you don't need the .py. It's assuming that you're importing a Python file, so you can do function underscore key if that's what you named yours, whatever you named your file over here. So that is what we're going to do. So inside of the problem, we are looking for that Sentinel loop, basically meaning that while a certain condition is met, we're going to continue to do this, and we're going to continue to prompt to see if we want to continue to make this happen. So we're going to start with that. So we are going to call our little yes, no, and I'll get to exactly what this means at the end. So stick around if you want to know what this means. So I'm going to throw in here that yes, no equals yes. So right there, we're just going to have y to begin with. All right. So we are going to say while yes underscore no is equal to y, which you've already seen now that it's already equal to y. So we are going to run all of these functions. We're trying to get our start number at the very first bit. So I am going to say that our start number is equal to our function. So I'm going to call function key because I'm grabbing this from our function key dot whatever the name of our function is. So I'm getting that right up there. It's get underscore start, and I'm going to close that up. So now I have my start number equals function key dot get start. So I just called this function. So if you ever need a start function that starts with entering a number greater than 0, you already got it. You got it saved. So now we can move on to our end number is going to be equal to our stop function. So we're going to go function dot key, or sorry, not dot key, underscore key dot get stop. And we can leave those blank because, actually, we do need to throw back in here. We're going to throw that start number in here because remember, that is our minimum value. So we'll go start number, and we now have the first part of this checked. We've got get start linked with get stop. All right, so now we want to find the sum of the sequence. So I'm going to name a new variable, sum underscore seek, and then that's going to equal our function key, because we're going to call this again from our function key. And I called my function sum of s, or sum of sequence. And then that requires two inputs. It requires our start number and our end number. So I'm going to enter in those variables and separate them with a comma. And now we'll go on to our next one, which is our product, because we're going to find our product. So I'm going to go product of SEQ. And I'm going to also call this from our function key. And that will be our product of S is the name of that function. And then once again, we will need the inputs or arguments of start number and end number. Cool. So now we have this loop right here, and we've pretty much got everything figured out. in terms of what it needs to do. It needs to get a number to start, it needs to get a number to stop, it needs to get the added total of our sequence, and then it needs to get the product of our sequence. So now we just need to go on to printing our results. So let's print what is an F string. So it is the sum of the sequence is, and then we can call our function's return right here, which is our sum underscore seq, which is what we named this variable up here. I'll close those brackets up, and we've got that print statement all good. And then we want to print, if we're going to do f string the product of the sequence is whatever we named this, so product sequence. We've got that right here, product underscore seq, close that up, and now I'm just going to print a space. And remember, because it defaults to having that /n there, I'm just going to fill that in pretty shorthand. Now this is where we get back, those of you that stuck around to the end of the video, we've got yes underscore no, so we want to check that again and see whether or not they want to continue. So we're going to reopen that variable by saying yes underscore no is equal to the input, and do you want to continue? And now we will ask them the simple question of y/n, and it will only work if it is y. So now I can close this up, close up our function, and now let's see if I run this module and I have to save it. I will save it as anything in the world. And now I've got right here, enter a number greater than 0. Let's do 5. Enter a number greater than the last, 16. Sum of the sequence is 126, and the product of the sequence is 87 something, lots of it. Do you wish to continue? We'll say yes. We'll try it again. We'll start with the sum of the sequence is 1, and then let's do a product of 600. This is gonna be big. Woo! We get a large number right there. And if we want to say no, we hit N, and then we get back to our regular terminal. All right, that's the video. Thanks for watching.